Hello guys, welcome to Autolatest Cars. Today we are driving, as you probably know, the new Isuzu D-Max. This is the latest version of D-Max for European market. As I told you, we have a new multimedia system on the dashboard, but of course we have a new LCD system in front of the driver. And actually I'm going to show you the fuel consumption, the real fuel consumption of this D-Max 2025. As you could see, in the last 1 kilometers, the average speed is 60 kilometers an hour, and the fuel consumption is 6.7. Of course, this is premature because we are driving outside the city, and this is the lowest fuel consumption of this vehicle. But we have to tell you that the new D-Max 2025, besides the fact that it has the new headlights, the new stop lights, and the new somehow in the modified interior, this car it's actually new because it has a lot of changes. First of all, the road handling of the car, it's somehow modified compared with the previous generation of D-Max, because this time the car is more user friendly. It has more lovely driving on the off-road system, not in let's get outside the off-road here. Let's get outside of the road, and we have to talk about the fuel consumption, the road handling. Today we are driving a car that on the off-road. This is not on-road, as you can see. This is off-road, and the road handling of the car is completely modified compared with the previous D-Max, because the suspension is modified. Everything it's made by Isuzu to make the driving of this car more comfortable, even on soft off-road. We are driving soft off-road. We are not driving off-road in off-road mode here. But definitely you have to talk about this road handling, because the car, it's new. And okay, let's stop it here. The car, it's new, and everything you know about D-Max, it's actually, as I told you, real. First of all, okay, let's talk about this car outside to present you the D-Max, the real D-Max. So this version, it's borrowed from our partner Isuzu Romania. It has these mountains on the side of the car. As I told you, the car has new headlights, the new grille. Of course, this is a Japanese car made in Taiwan. It has the same platform, the same engine, the same gearbox, but Isuzu is actually working now at the new D-Max 2025 in the autumn. That means that this car is going to have a lot of technical upgrades. First of all, under the bonnet, it has a 1.9 TDI diesel engine. It's made by Isuzu. As you probably know, Isuzu is the biggest producer of diesel engines in the world. From my point of view, this is the most important thing, because this engine, 1.9 diesel, 164 horsepower and 340 Newton meters, it's actually one of the most reliable diesel engine on European market, and of course even on Asian markets. And of course, you don't have to remember the fact you have to remember the fact that this car actually competes directly with Toyota Hilux. And from my point of view, this is a better car than a Hilux, because Hilux, it had some problems with the previous diesel engine 2.4. Toyota knew that. It was the engine was the power was not so good on the previous 2.4 D4D, and actually they sell the Hilux in the European market only with 2.8 D4D. But compared with the Isuzu, the Toyota, it's a very good producer of petrol hybrid engines, not so from the diesel point of view. And as you could probably know, the reliability of the 2.8 diesel on the new Land Cruiser, a lot of problems, especially on Asian and Australian markets, and it's a very big problem. Of course, the D-Max sold in Europe, it's Euro 6. The emission are compatible Euro 6, but on other markets like Asia and Australia, it also has a 3-liter, an old classic 3-liter diesel engine, also made by Isuzu. In the back, you can see the new back, the stop lights of the cars are new. Of course, it has Isuzu writing on it. The camera is down here. As you could probably see, it doesn't have a lot of decent, and this is a workhorse. This is not an premium SUV. This is a workhorse SUV, and that's quite good because this car should run 400,000 kilometers. So as I told you, this year on European market, I think next year on the European market, this car will receive the new 2.2 diesel engine with the same amount of power, around 170 horsepower, but with the new Aisin AT6 gearbox torque converter, not this Aisin AT6. So that means it could compete even better with the Ford Ranger, and the Ford Ranger, as you probably know, is the most sold pickup car in European market. That's important to know, because the Ford knew that to be number one on European market, it should have a small diesel engine, a workhorse gearbox 86, the previous generation 86 gearbox, premium gearbox. They have an AT10 gearbox torque converter, and of course they have Raptor with the V6 engine, and of course they have a V6 turbo diesel engine, much more powerful than this is Isuzu. But the diesel engine of the Ranger, it's 170 horsepower single turbo and over 205 horsepower in twin turbo version. That's the big problem for Toyota, that's the big problem for Mitsubishi L200, and that's the big problem for Suzuki, for Isuzu D-Max, because they have only one engine, one gearbox, and not a lot of things to actually configure the car on European market. From my point of view, after 20 years of reviewing pickup cars on this market, I could tell you that this one, the Isuzu, is still number one on European market from the point of view of reliability. This car could actually destroy a Ford Ranger in 300-400,000 kilometers with no problem. The Aisin AT6 is bulletproof, the running gear is bulletproof, and of course for 2025 I definitely should show you that, not in driving mode. For this year, this car has some novelties. First of all, you could you could see on the bed you could the fuel consumption average is 6.1 in 2 kilometers. Of course, that's an irrelevant range. The relevant range is this: driving almost 6 hours with an average speed of 40 kilometers an hour. The fuel consumption is 9.9. The real fuel consumption, as you can see, the autonomy is 480 kilometers, and actually almost half a tank. Of course, the difference compared with the previous generation is the multimedia system, as I told you. But I like the fact that Isuzu doesn't play and actually offers the automatic air conditioning with buttons, which is very, very important. The new multimedia system, you will receive the ADS. You could close this very easy, but of course, if you slide it, you see the tire pressure, and of course the all-wheel drive system. When you push this, you'll see this is the two-wheel drive high version, of course, as you drive it on normal roads. And this car has a novelty. It's this button. If you push it, let me show you, and you see rough terrain. So this is a crawl mode bought from Boro somehow from Toyota, but this system works beautifully in two-wheel drive. This is not an option only on two-wheel, on 4 high. You could put rough terrain, and the computer actually makes lives better inside this car. Okay, let me show you the price tag. Of course, we are in Romanian market. This is not Australia, this is not Asia. And the new D-Max has a price range that starts from 37 euros VAT included, and this is the price tag of this car. We are driving executive, and executive with the discount is like 44,990 euros, but the entry level double cab, this is double cab, not single cab, is 3690. An important thing compared with the previous generation of D-Max is the fact that this time Isuzu doesn't offer a manual gearbox on D-Max, which is quite good because it was an irrelevant gearbox. The engine is 1.9 DSL, 164 horsepower, 360 Newton meter, 2000 to 2000, 86 from Aisin, Max speed 180, empty weight 2015 kilograms, max 3,100, towing capacity 3.5 tons, the fuel tank is 75 liters, and of course the ground clearance is 240 millimeters, and the turning radius is 30 meters, which is not so good, but it's a big pickup. So you'll have 5 years warranty in 100 kilometers, 5 years or 100 kilometers, and 5 years free assistance if something goes bad with the car. But this is an Isuzu, so is I think this is the only car that actually it doesn't matter the fact that it has a warranty, because this type of cars made by Isuzu are bulletproof from all point of view. Actually, you could buy this car, you could drive it 300,000 kilometers, and you will also have a resale value quite fantastic. So when you push the rough terrain button, you will receive a little let me show you the little green off-road sign. Inside this executive version is full leather, and of course it has a black roof with the hi-fi system, which is not quite the best hi-fi system in the world, but it's a big improvement compared with the previous Isuzu. Of course, if you want to buy the best pickup on the market from the point of view of road handling and SUV feeling, you should definitely go for a Ford Ranger. But if you want to drive the most reliable and bulletproof pickup truck in Europe, you definitely should go for the D-Max, because the engine is top of the line. It could run 300-400,000 kilometers every day on this kind of roads with no problem. It has the most robust suspension in the segment. It's actually very hard to make this truck faulty in some condition. You could put four-wheel drive in drive. It's the 4 high version, and of course you'll have the rough terrain mode. That it's a unique feature on this car, because only previous generation of Toyota Land Cruiser and of course the new Land Cruiser has it. And the novelty, it has a rough terrain system actually that works in 2 high, not in 4 high. Quite an important thing. The build quality is quite good. It has soft materials here with leather stitching, but it's an utility cars, and this is a low cost button, only auto for the driver. I don't know why, because this car is quite expensive. It's more than 44,000 euros. So in the future, Isuzu should work more at the soundproofing the interior, because the car it's more loud inside compared with the Ford Ranger. And of course, to make the rear suspension, the live axle with the leaf springs more soft on the roads. But of course, the Isuzu clients will say it's a bad decision, because these cars are actually driving on off-road and on the proving ground, where definitely a pickup should go. But as you probably know, in Romania and in European markets, 90% of the pickups are going to be used on roads, at the city mall, in city driving, and a softer suspension, it would be a very important sell point. You could see why Ford Ranger it's a bestseller on European market. It has the most comfortable rear suspension. The front suspension with double wishbone is top of the line at this D-Max, but the rear suspension is somehow rough. This is an utility car, so Isuzu, they will tell you that this car will run with 1 ton in the bed and 3.5 tons on the hook, 4,000 of kilometers, and that's the reality. This car, it's one of the most important pickup cars on the European market. And of course, you could buy it even in single cab, not double cab, but that's a workhorse for a company. Definitely at 37,000 euros, this car, it's a very big competitor for a modern SUV, because it's bigger, it's safer, it has an average speed lower than a big SUV, and you'll not have any problems with the maintenance, because the bushing, the suspension will run 300,000 kilometers with no money invested, even if you go on rough roads, compared with the normal SUV. And we are not talking about premium SUV, we are talking about a medium SUV, or let's say with 5 seats and big and the plug-in hybrid system, let's say, or a full hybrid system. The running gear will cost you a lot, the tires will cost you a lot, and if you drive a pickup, you'll run more economically for you and for your family, because till, I don't know, 300,000 kilometers, you won't put money. The car won't ask you for money, and that's very important, especially if you drive it on road like a normal SUV. But the difference compared with a normal SUV, let's say a 50,000 euro SUV, this car is 10,000 euro cheaper compared with the level of equipment. And this car with 300,000 kilometers would have a resale value to much more bigger than an SUV with 300,000 kilometers, which will have on 10% of or 15% of initial value. Compared with the pickup actually, the G-Class, I told everybody, every pickup and every G-Class from Mercedes will retain their value even in 20 years. So this is a workhorse, this is a car that, this is a pickup, this is not a car, this is an utility SUV with higher ground clearance and bed, this is a joke of course, that will run 300,000 kilometers or 400,000 kilometers with a very good fuel consumption, because it's a diesel engine. This is not plug-in, this is not full hybrid. And actually the running gear, the inside, the build quality and the toughness of this car made in Thailand by Isuzu, it's well known on every market. So these cars, you'll see them on normal roads with 300, 400, 800,000 kilometers, with some rust, some on the arches of the bed, and that's it. The engine will hold because it's a leather chassis, so it's bulletproof from this point of view. And of course, when we are talking about Isuzu, we are talking about the most important producer of diesel engines in the world. So the reliability of this 1.9 diesel engine with single turbo, it's better than a Ford Ranger with twin turbo AdBlue engine. And let's say it's at the level of 2.3 diesel engine on Mitsubishi L200. But as you probably know, the Mitsubishi L200, it's not so much sold on European market. I don't know why, what the alliance Renault Nissan is doing, Mitsubishi is doing, but actually the first place in Europe it's for Ranger, the second place is on European market it's Toyota Hilux, and very close by the Isuzu D-Max. But comparing with the Hilux and the Ranger, this car is the most reliable, this car is the most bulletproof, and I think it will hold its resale value better than Toyota, better than Ford, much better than Ford, but actually better than Toyota, because Toyota had some build quality problems, engine problems, gearbox problems with the actual this generation of Hilux, and the price tag of Toyota, it's skyrocketing. So you could have a Hilux GR with around 60,000 euros, and this Isuzu, it's top of the line 44, which is crazy to buy, to go for that amount of money for a Hilux. But of course you could get a Raptor diesel around 55-60,000 euros, another madness. So Isuzu is pragmatic, Isuzu it's more conservative from this, it has a more conservative statement from this point of view, and actually they are making the better car, and that's a very big statement from us, from whattruck.ro, because we drove these cars, I don't know, the first version was a long time ago, and it had the 2.5 liter diesel engine, twin turbo diesel engine with the manual gearbox and 5-speed automatic, also Aisin, and that was a bulletproof car. A lot of companies, a lot of airports still use them with almost 1 million kilometers, and they are bulletproof. When they change the from 2.5 to 1.9 to this engine, they lost a lot of clients, because this engine was it wasn't so much powerful compared with the previous 2.5. But Isuzu doesn't bring in Europe the 3 liter turbo engine. It has only markets on Asia and Australia. An engine that actually I think it's much more reliable than this 1.9, because this is Euro 6 with DPF, with a lot of system made for European market to be eco-friendly. Of course, when we are driving, when we are talking about big pickups, the most important thing is reliability, price tag, and resale value. And Isuzu actually it's number one on each of these statements. So rough terrain, this is new. The multimedia, it's new. The build quality is the same. It's okay because it has an automatic air conditioning with buttons, not with a tablet like an other competition cars. The bulletproof steering wheel, the button are the same. And of course they modernized with the big LCD and this multimedia system. But of course we are waiting for the new D-Max 2025 and 2026, which with a new 2.2 diesel engine, 170 horsepower, and of course with an 88 gearbox, which will be very much weighted, because the Ranger has a 10-speed gearbox, and that's magical for a pickup that actually is driving on the highway. So this gearbox is okay. It's the most reliable gearbox on the market. But for the competition with the Ford Ranger with 8010, a gearbox also mounted on Ford Expedition, Ford Excursion, for Cadillac Escalade, the same gearbox, it's quite I think it struggles. And of course the price tag, it will be higher compared with this version. So at 38,000 euros, definitely this is a very good car. This is a very decent car. And if you want to buy a family SUV with 5 places and 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating, definitely us from whattruck.ro and autolatest.com will recommend you to actually look at the pickup, because in the pickup segment, because these cars are actually very reliable, very safe, and you will have a big resale value. Even that your neighbor will say that you are crazy, it's too big, it's too long, you don't have to drive this big pickup like in European city. And this is bull, because of course when you see in the city driving a Mercedes Sprinter or a Fiat Ducato or Renault Master, you have to remember that this car it has a length much smaller than the big Sprinter or Renault Master or something like that, or big vans. So the length is no problem. When you stay in traffic, you'll definitely you see more, because you have a very good view of the traffic. You stay higher, big side mirrors, and everything works even in 20 years. So this is a very big it's a very big statement for a guy that actually would want to buy an SUV and definitely would go home with a pickup. This is my point of view. If you want to have a car that actually will cost you less money in, I don't know, 10 or 5 in 5 or 10 years, definitely should go for a pickup, not for a modern SUV with a lot of high maintenance costs, tires more expensive, and so on. Thank you.